Hey guys, welcome back to IT Classroom. I hope you all are doing well. So today we're looking at Igcse Mathematics 0580 Paper 2 Variant 2 from Feb March 2024. Needless to say, this is the most recent paper which has been conducted for 0580 and is likely to be very helpful to candidates appearing in May June 2024. So do continue to stay throughout this video till the end of the video, and also make sure you share this video with your friends, like and share this video. Also, if you have any doubts, you can comment down below. I'll be happy to help you guys, and make sure you subscribe to this channel because more Feb March papers are coming up. All right, so let's start this video. Going on to question number 1, which is usually easiest question. Question number 1, it says that a night bus runs from 2150 to 518 the next day. 2150 basically means 9:50 p.m. to 518, and work out the number of hours and the number of minutes that the night bus runs. So for this, we do that 2150 to 12 o'clock, or basically to 00, would be how many hours? That would be 2 hours and 10 minutes. Then from 00 to basically 518 is 5 hours and 18 minutes. That gives you 7 hours. If you add them up, it gives you 7 hours and 28 minutes. So 7 hours and 28 minutes. Then it says calculate square root of 5.76 plus 5.76 plus 2.8 cubed. Yeah, so that gives us 24 okay, all right, 24.352. Now simplify 4m minus m, and 4m plus 7k minus m plus 3k. So 4m minus m would be 3m, and 7k plus 3k would be 10k. 3m plus 10k. Moving on. Now it says that a diagram shows the net of a cuboid with its base shaded. So here the base, the length of the cuboid is 10, the width is given, and the height is given. We are supposed to find out the values for A, B, C, and D. Alright. So if you see, this is a net of a cuboid, and if this is the base, then this would be one of the vertical sides, which would be raised upwards. If you see, if you understand what I'm trying to say. So this would be one of the sides, and this again would be the other side. This one, that is this one right here. So yeah, so this one right here, this one and this one are likely to be the same size, will be the same size, and the small ones are actually the same size. And this one, the top of this will be acting as a lid to the box, which should be equal to the base. So now we have to find the values for, first value is for B. Okay, now if you see B, it's a length of the lid of the cover. So the length is given, which should be 10 centimeters. So B is 10 centimeters. Then C is the width. The width should be 4 centimeters, since that's what is the width of the box, so 4 centimeters. Then D. Now D, if you see, is a combination of two. So we're going to break down D here according to the line. One of them is just the width, so that should be 4 centimeters. The other, if you see, I told you that this box is going to be raised upwards. So that should be the height, so 5. So that should be D, gives you 9. Now comes A. A is basically one length. So that would be equal to 10 centimeters, and 2 of the widths of the box. So width, each of the width is 4 and 4. That gives you 18 centimeters for A. Alright, I hope this question is clear. This question is for 4 marks, and I haven't really seen a question such as this, so make sure to understand it well. Then it says there are 20 cars in a car park and 3 of them are blue. Jamie wants to draw a pie chart to show this information. Find the angular factor for the blue cars in this pie chart. So there are 20 total and 3 are blue, so you have 3 over 20 into the total angle of a circle on a pie chart, which is 360. So when you do this, 3 over 20 into 360, it gives you 54 degrees. So that's going to be the answer for this question, 54 degrees. The next is, one of the 20 cars is picked at random. Find the probability that the car is not blue. There are 3 which are blue, so 17 will be not blue. So 17 out of 20. As you can see, this is only 1 mark, so not working required. Alright, the next question. Okay, it says that write A, which is here, and B, which is here, as a column vector. So if you see the column vector, you just need to know how will you move from A to B, starting letter to the ending letter. So to move from A, so you would need to move this way, and then you move up. So how many boxes? You move 10 boxes to the left, so that would be -10 at the top, and 3 boxes upwards, so that would be 3. I hope this question is clear. The next is, as the temperature increases, the number of people who go swimming increases. As the temperature increases, the number of people who go swimming increases. Write down the type of correlation. So the graph would be something like this, which states that there should be a positive correlation. Positive correlation. Then it says that the nth term of a sequence is n squared minus 3. Find the first three terms of the sequence. To find the first three terms, you just have to assign n to the first term. So 1 squared would be 1, minus 3 would be negative 2. Then you put the second term. So 2 squared would be 4, minus 3 would be 1. Then you put the third one, that is 3 squared is 9, minus 3 is 6. Okay, now here it says that these are the first 5 terms of a different sequence. Find the nth term of the sequence. So this is a type of basically geometric sequence where you're multiplying every times by 3. If you can see, times 3, times 3, times 3, except times 3. So for this, the equation is often in the format that, first of all, 3 being raised to n minus 1. 3 being raised to n minus 1. Now why does this work is because the at the first term the is 1. So when you put first here, 1 minus 1 is 0. So anything raised to 0 gives you 1. The second term is 3. So when you do 2 minus 1, it will be 1, and 3 raised to 1 is 3. The third term effectively is so 3 minus 1 is 2, and 3 raised to 2 is 9, which is the square of 3. Next question says the line y is equals to 2x minus 5 intersects the line y is equals to 3 at the point P. Find the coordinates of the P. So it basically says that 2x minus 5 should be equal to 3. Basically the y is equal to 3 since y is here and y is here. So 2x is equals to 8 and x would be equal to 4. So we have found the x coordinates. Now y coordinates are will be 3 because on the line y equals to 3, all the y coordinates will be 3. So y coordinates will be 3, but you can also check it because if you put 2 times 4, 8 minus 5 will also give you 3. So you can do it that way as well, just for checking. Then it says that the diagram shows a trapezium PQRS. Calculate the area of the trapezium PQRS. So 1 by 2. A plus B would be 5.3 plus 8.7 times the height. Perpendicular height 3.8. Do not take the slanting height. So that gives you 1 by 2 times A plus B, which is 5.3 plus 8.7 times 3.8. 5 plus 3 plus 8.7 plus 8.7 into 3.8, which gives you 26.6. 26.6. Let me just check the calculation. 5.3 plus 8.7 into 3.8. The next question says that without using a calculator, work out this. So first of all, I need to convert the mixed fraction to normal fraction. So 1 by 4 is basically 4 into 1. That is 4 plus 1 is 5. Oh, that's bad. And right. So 4 into 1 is 4 plus 1 is 5. So 5 over 4 minus 5 over 6. You can effectively cross multiply. So 5 into 6 is 30 and 4 into 5 is 20 over 6 into 4 is 24. That gives you 10 over 24, which is 5 over 12 as in the simplest form. It's important to write in the simplest form, otherwise you would lose 1 mark. So 5 over 12. The next question says that Farid spins a 3-sided spinner with sides labeled A, B, and C. So he's spinning a spinner. The probability that the spinner lands on C is 0.35. Farid spins the spinner 40 times. Find the number of times that he would expect the spinner to land on C. So it's pretty simply, if one time you can get 0.35, so you just multiply it by 40. 40 into 0.35, 40 into 0.35, which is 14. So you would get it 14 times. Easy questions, to be honest. The next one is 14, yeah, I guess 14 times as well. 14 times. Find the bearing of B. Okay, the bearing of B from A is given. Find the bearing of A from B. Now, in these questions, I would recommend you guys to draw the diagram. So here we have the point A, and here we are being said that there's a bearing to point B. All right, bearing, and this bearing is 107. So they're asking us that how would you go from B to A in the bearing side. So basically, asking you to find this direction. All right. So this is relatively simple. If you remember the co-interior properties of angle, you would know that this angle is equals to 180 minus 107, which should be 180 minus 107, which is 73. Then if you do 360 minus 73, you would get 360 minus 73, which is 287 degrees. The next question is, A train which is 1750 meters long is traveling at 55 kilometers per hour. Calculate how long will it take the train to completely cross a bridge that is 480 meters. Give your answer in seconds, set in a second. Now, this question is kind a bit of confusing question, has been asked previously in different terms. So it's not always the distance that is the it has to be covered of the bridge. It also means that the first wheel, the last wheel of the train should go beyond the bridge. That means the total distance traveled should be the length of the bridge plus the length of the train. All right, because let's say this is the bridge, so this is the bridge. Basically, if this is the bridge, then if the train is entering from this point, then it should go all the way here, so that the other end of the train, let's say this is the end, is basically here, so that this length also needs to be covered. So hence, first thing that you're gonna add them. So 1750 plus 480, which will give you 1750 plus 480 is 2230. 2230. Then you're gonna change your 2230 meters to kilometers by dividing it by 1000. When you divide it by 1000, you get 2.23 kilometers. All right, 2.23 kilometers. Now, remember that speed is equal to distance divided by time. So time would equal to the distance, which is 2.23, divided by 55 kilometers per hour. But also this would give me in hours, right? This time would be in hours. So I'll need to multiply it by 60 to give it in minutes, and another 60 to give it in seconds. So this is effectively kind of reducing the working that you would need to require to do and still bring it correctly. Into 60, which should give me 145.96. Since it says correct to the nearest second, I can say 146 seconds. I hope this question is clear. Let's move on to the next question. Now here it's about a transformation question. So this is there are two parts to this question. First is, how can you go from A to B? Now remember that this triangle is triangle A and this triangle is triangle B. So you can see it's clearly, first of all, remember that the mark is an important thing. This is like a technique that is given so that you can know the answer. Most of the time, if it asks for 3 details for 3 marks, but this is reflection, which earns for 2 details for 2 marks. So first thing you can see, it will be reflection in this line, since it's equally distant, so 3 from here and 3 from here. So we would say that it is basically reflection. Now the line, we have to also get the axis of the line. Line is basically x is equals to -2. This is passing through x, and if you see any point on this line, the x-axis would be -2. So we would say that x is equals to -2. Then triangle A to triangle C. Now triangle A to triangle C is clearly enlargement, since the size has changed. To find enlargements, what you would do is you would take the 2 corresponding points on both the shapes, and you would draw a straight line. So if I can use my tools effectively, all right, that gives me one straight line. That gives me, always make sure the points are corresponding. That gives me the straight line. So you can see that they have intersected on this point. Now this point might not be accurate, so you might need to check with 1 or more. But then you see that if I've taken 2 from here and 1 from here, then if I take 4 and 2, that gives me this point. So this is likely to be correct. So I would say that this is an enlargement. Enlargement is one of the most commonly asked topics in paper 2 and paper 4, always likely to be asked. So make sure to study this topic carefully. The center is -3 and 4. Center is -3, 4, -3, 4. And also we would say that what is the scale? Now if you want to find the scale of enlargement, then what you would do is you would see this, the original shape. Triangle A to triangle C, center negative, but you see that this is effectively halved. So A was, let's say, 4, so B is 2, the C is 2, so it is effectively halved. So scale factor is 1/2. Scale factor is basically 1/2. I thought of initially at first that it would be C to A, mostly it's that, but be careful to read which shape to which shape, because if it had been C to A, then it would be 2. Draw a triangle A after rotation clockwise about 1, 3. So first mark your center as here. You always mark it with a C. Then you have to rotate it 90 degrees clockwise. So if you see 90 degrees clockwise, what you do is, let's say there's this line which goes from one of these points, from the center to one of the points, then 90 degrees clockwise. Imagine that how would this line rotate if there was a 90 degrees clockwise rotation. You would see that it rotates in this direction, so this would be the line. Alright, so I'm going to erase the lines for now and the arrows, but I know this is the one of the points. I'm going to do the same thing all for all the points. Now for the other point, that is this point, it's effectively doing 1 2 3 4 5 boxes. So I would take 1 2 3 4 5, that would be somewhere here. Then for this point, it's 1 2 3 4, 90 degrees clockwise. Clockwise would mean downwards. So 1 2 3 4, that would come down to somewhere here. And then I have 1 2 3 4 down, which would mean 1 2 3 and 4, that would be somewhere here. Then I will need to basically arrange these points to form the same shape. So my drawing might not be very accurate since I'm doing it on a device, but yours should be on this, especially if you do it on a paper. Alright, something like this. You can see that how the image is rotated 90 degrees clockwise. Alright, the next question is completing the Venn diagram. Now it says here that P, there's a Venn diagram where the total is from 1 to 10, all the numbers from 1 to 10 including 1 and 10, and P is an even number, whereas Q should be for multiples of 5. So we can easily fill them out. 2 4 6 8. Now 10 is an even number, multiple of 5 should come here, and there's another multiple of 5 which is 5. What are the numbers remaining? 1 is remaining, 2 is covered, so 3 is remaining, 4 is covered, 5 is covered, 6 is covered, 7, and then 8 is covered, and then 9. Alright, so very relatively simple question. Then it says that the heights are being measured. Calculate the estimate of the mean height. Now for the estimate of the mean height, you will need to find the mid of these heights. So from 100 to 120, the mid is 110, 120 to 130, 125, then 130 to 150, 140, and 150 to 90, 170. So for the frequency, it would be 110 into 32 plus 125 into 55 plus 140 into 64 plus 170 into 49 divided by 200 people. That's because that's the total. That would give you, if you do the calculation, 110. You can simply put this on a calculator without doing any further calculations. 125 into 55 plus 140 into 64 plus 170 into 49, 200. That give you 138, 138.425, 138.425. Now since it's the exact answer, most of the times I often had the exact answer. So generally the rule is that if you have a it's like a irrational number, then you would write it as the 3 significant figures. But if the exact answer, you're always allowed to write the exact answer. Although I think 138 would also be accepted. Now find the highest common factor of 28x5 and 98x3. I think this question was asked recently as well. So for this highest common factor, you would have to write 28x5 as a prime factorization, which I believe is 2 into 2 into 7. Yeah. So 2 into 2 into 7 into x into x into x into x into x. There are 5 x's. Okay, yeah. Then 98 x raised to 3. What is 98? I'm not sure. 98 is 2 into 7 into 7 into x into x into x. Now what you do for the HCF is you just take the common pairs. So one pair is here, one pair here. Then for the x, you will have effectively 3 pairs. So that would be 2 into 7 into x into x into x, which will give you 14x cubed. 14x cubed. Alright, so that's it. Let's move on to the next question now. Now we would move on to the next question, which is that the speed time graph shows the information about a bus journey. Calculate the total distance which has been traveled by the bus. The total distance is shown by area under the graph. So the area, you can see it's in the shape of a parallelogram. So you can also do it through a rectangle and 2 triangles, but parallelogram is one simple step. So that would be 1 by 2, the a plus b, that is the top. The bottom is 190 seconds, and the top is basically 140 minus 20, that would be 120, times the height, which is 15. This is a simple way. Then bring 2 rectangles, although you can also do that method. It's completely fine, it works. That gives us 2325 meters, because remember the unit is given, so no worries, it's not physics. Then it says that calculate the area of the triangle ABC. That would be 1 by 2, 1 by 2. Area of triangle is 1 by 2 AB sine C. When I say AB sine C, that means two sides and the angle between them. So into 5.6 into 4.9 into sine 23. So that would be 1 by 2 into 5.6 into 4.9 into sine 23. That would make it 5.36 centimeter squared if you round it off to 2 decimal places or 3 significant figures. Then it says that write down the value of h, that is okay. Now remember that always any number when you raise down to a fraction, 3 1 by 5 can also be written as 3 5. All right, or so basically what you do is that the power's numerator goes to the outside power. So just to help you guys, let's say you have written 3 by 6 or 3 by 7. This can also be written as 7 3, and also when you raise it to final of 3, which give the same answers. So in this question, as I said here, that is I'll just erase this part or this part. So as you can see that 3 raised to 1 by 5 is equals to 5. The same thing which has been here is also here, so hence h is 1 by 5. Simplify 4x cubed. Now in this question, what you would need to do is you would need to 4 cubed and x raised power 3 into 3. So 4 cubed would be 64 and x 3 into 3 is 9. So that would be something like this. Then it says that y is inversely proportional to the square root of x plus 3. When x is 5, y is 0.375. Find y in terms of x. Now when it says inversely proportional, that means that y times x plus 3 squared would be constant because it's square of. So 0.375, you have to find the constant value. 5 plus 3 squared, that would give us 0.375. 5 plus 3 squared, which should give us 24. Find y. Y would be equal to 24 over the x plus 3 squared. Y is equal to 24 over x plus 3 squared. Alright. Now here we are asking for a graph of cos x from 0 to 360. And remember that cos 0 is 1, then it passes from 90 here. So if I make somewhere around this center to 90 and 270, they have not given it for some reason. 180 is negative, 270 is positive, 270 again is 0, and 360 goes. So it would go something like this, and then it would go down here, and then it would go something like this, and then again it would stabilize here. That's it. So something like this. Okay, then the next question is solve the equation cos x is equal to 0.294 from 0 to 360. So for this, x would be equal to cos inverse of 0.294, which is cos inverse of 0.294. That would give you 72.9024171. Now here's a tip for you guys, that whenever you're doing calculations or when you're in the middle of the problem and you have found a value which is longer or it has a lot of decimal places, either you write that down on the paper or just save this value in the answer value of your calculator. Because if the other values are dependent on this value, that means your final answer could be wrong. So do not round at this stage. Then to find the other value, you would do 360 minus 72.9. Now if you don't want to write this, you could just say 90 ... Effectively this shows that you're using the whole value, so that saves time, but do make sure that you use the values. That gives you 287.1. So the answers would be 72.9. These are angles, better write them at 1 decimal places. 287.1. Now it says that x squared minus 16x plus a can be written in the form that x plus b squared. So x squared minus 16x plus a can be written as x plus b squared. Here you can this question might not seem simple, but it's actually relatively simple. So x squared minus 16x plus a, if you expand this, it gives you x squared plus 2bx plus b squared. Now you want to know that how do you equalize this to this. So we have x squared being equalized for this x squared, that means it's gone. Now 2bx would be equal to negative 16x because there's an x term in both of them, so you can't relate them, and hence a would be equal to b squared. So If 2bx is equals to negative 16x, then I can take the x on the division side, so 2b would be equal to negative 16 and b would be equal to negative 8. Alright, so we have got the value of b, and since a is equals to b squared, so remember that a is equals to negative 8 squared. Important to be careful here, negative 8 into 8 is positive, so a would be 64. I hope this question is clear. A is 64 and b is negative 8. Now if this had been the value of a was given and the value of b would be already found, easy to find. This is completing the square, but since it's not given, that's why I have to do this method. Then I assume these are the last questions here. So bag contains 2 green buttons, 5 red buttons and 6 blue buttons. 2 buttons are taken at random without replacement, which is very important. Calculate the probability the 2 buttons are different. Now here we need to list down all the combinations. So you could take green and then red, you could take green and then blue, you could take red and then green, you could take red and then blue, and you could take blue and then green, and you could take blue and then red. So then we just need to find the probabilities of each of them and add them together. Now what is the probability of green and red? So I would do like this. Green is basically 2, total numbers are 6 plus 5 is 11 plus 2 is 13. So green are 2 by 13 and red are 5, but you removed 1, so it will be 12. Important to do that here. Then green and blue, so I've done this. Green and blue, so 2 by 13, blue are 6 by 12, plus red is basically 5 by 13 into the green, which are 2 by 12, then 5 by 13 into 6 by 12, because again red blue, then blue is 6 by 13 into 2 by 12, plus you would also need to do 6 by 13 into 5 by 12. So you're going to put the whole thing in the calculator, or if you might find it easier, you can solve each of them and put them in the calculator. I would just usually put the whole thing. 2 by 13 into 5 by 12 plus 2 by 13 into 6 by 12 plus 5 by 13 into 2 by 12 plus 5 by 13 into 6 by 12 plus 6 by 13 into 2 by 12 plus 6 by 13 into 5 by 12. That effectively gives me 2 over 3. So that would be the probability 2 over 3. A well worth question for 4 marks. Ultimately, we arrive at the last question, which says that A is a point and B is a point. Find the equation of the perpendicular bisector. In this question, there are 2 important things to be considered. First of all, the m needs to be calculated, which is the gradient of the perpendicular bisector, and the c value. So to calculate the m, we need to find the gradient of the line AB. So that will be y2 minus y1 over 7 minus 1 over 2 minus 6. 7 minus 1 over 2 minus 6. Importantly, you can also do basically 1 minus 7 and 6 minus 2. Whatever you do, that works fine, but it should be the same thing for the x and the y. 7 minus 1 over 2 minus 6. That gives us negative 3 over 2. That is for AB. If you want to find the perpendicular bisector, just take negative 1 divided by negative 3 by 2. Negative 1 divided by negative 3 by 2. That gives us 2 by 3. So the gradient, the m value, is 2 by 3 for the perpendicular bisector. Now perpendicular bisector means half the line, so we need to find the middle point of this. The middle point is relatively easy. 6 by 2 divided by 2, comma 1 plus 7 divided by 2. 6 plus 2 is 8 divided by 2 is 4. 1 plus 7 is 8 divided by 2 is 4. So that's the point. Now you're going to find out that 4 is the y value, so 2 by 3 times 4 plus c, which gives you that 4. Now what you do, 2 by 3 into 4 would give you 8 by 3 plus c, hence c would be 4 minus 8 by 3, which is 4 minus 8 by 3 is basically 4 by 3. 4 by 3. Hence the equation is 2 by 3x plus 4 by 3. 2 by 3x plus 4 by 3. So then we arrive at the end of this paper now. I hope this video was helpful, and wishing you all the very best luck for your May June exams and your October November exams as well. And especially, I forgot to say this, but Ramadan Kareem to everyone who celebrates it. And may this Ramadan fill your it might be very happy for you and your family and fill your prosperity. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe to this channel because more Feb March papers are coming soon. And if you have any paper that you need help with, please do comment it down below, which will help also give me ideas for my paper. Thank you so much. Have a great day ahead.